Hello everybody and welcome to Trainer Talk, kind of. So for those of you who don't know me, I am Chris. I am one of the kennel assistants. I will be filling in for Haley today for Trainer Talk. Granted, I am not a trainer, so of course I'm not going to be able to talk too much about training, but since she wasn't able to be here today, we're going to be doing a bit of a barn talk of sorts to kind of fill in for that. So rather than talking about training, we're going to be talking about some of the goings on at the barn, how things have been going today, just in general. Hopefully that makes up for it. Hopefully I don't put you all to sleep with our usual goings on, but I'll try to keep it as interesting as I can. So let's start with just how things are going today. So today, this morning, our feeding during the morning breakfast went very well today. Recently, for those of you who watch Meet the Dog, I've mentioned it a couple times there. But the dogs are going on a bit of a hunger strike right now. They're either refusing to eat at the stand, refusing to just eat a certain meal during the day, maybe not finishing all their food. It's been very hard feeding them, especially in the morning. Usually it's a lot easier during the evening. They're a lot hungrier. But we recently tried cutting down some of their food a bit, not so much that they're all starving. And of course, if any of them are getting too skinny, we are going to bump them back up, but just enough that it kind of helps them figure out, like, oh, hey, we can't just keep refusing our food and we're still going to keep getting the same amount every time. And it has been working. So we bumped them. Normally we give everybody, unless they're on a diet, we give everybody 3 cups twice a day. Some of them get lunch. Right now, 3 of our dogs are getting lunch. It's 1.5 cups for those 3 dogs. And then 1 dog is on a diet. He's only getting 2.5 cups a day. But we bumped most of the dogs, with the exception of 3 or 4, down to 2 cups a day. And it seems to be working. A lot of them are starting to eat again more regularly, like we would expect them to. Some of them still not showing a lot of interest. They're eating, they're finishing it, but you can tell they're a little bit distracted. They're not really that interested. So hopefully for the ones who are really eating, we can bump them back soon. And then the ones who are eating but still not showing interest, hopefully that will start to gradually change like it did for the others. But this morning the feeding went very well. Everybody ate at the stand, which it used to be very easy to do that. Lately, because of the hunger strike, it's been a little bit difficult, so very glad that was happened today. Jack, who's been giving us some trouble kenneling up after meals, we did have to put the leash on him today, but we didn't have to use it to get him in. We were able to get him into his kennel without having to leash walk him. Thankfully, we didn't have to do that with any of the other dogs either. Everyone kenneled up perfectly today, so that was very good. Today we had Army's family, Laura, her recipient. Her family came in and helped volunteer for a bit. We were very grateful for their help. I don't know all the things they did. I know that they did help clean and make Kongs for us, as well as clean out some of the Kong bins that were getting a bit covered in peanut butter, keep them from getting moldy. So we're very grateful for their help today. That was very nice of them. Of course, it was great to see Army too. She seems like she's doing very well. Laura only had good things to say about her, so we're really happy that match is going strong. What else? I'm trying to think if we've had any fun stories today. Nothing too crazy happened today. It's still pretty early in the week, so we haven't had any, well, I shouldn't say there's no excitement. There's always something going on around here, but when you work with like 20-something dogs, it's going to be like that. But relatively, it's been pretty quiet so far, so hopefully it stays that way. But we will be starting feeding tonight at 4 o'clock as always. hopefully, once again, that we'll be able to get them all eat outside. That has been growing more and more consistent, which is nice. I think the only one... Who did we... I think we fed Spock inside yesterday. I had to feed him inside, but he did eat outside today. Let's see. This is tough. I'm so used to doing Meet the Dog, where I have the Q&A section to fill one at a time. So coming up with stuff on my own is a little bit tricky. The meals, of course, I've been talking about that, has really been the big thing around here, is trying to figure out how to get them off that hunger strike, and thankfully now it seems like it's starting to work. We've got, coming up this week, we're going to be giving the dogs ivermectin. It's the start of the month. We do that at the start of the month. So that's going to be it's always an experience. They aren't the biggest fan of getting the ivermectin. Some of them act like we're slowly killing them, namely Spock, Riker. I think Wallace is among that group. They will absolutely run and hide the second they see us coming with the little sandwiches that we hide the ivermectin in. So hopefully all goes well. I don't think I will be here that day, so I have no idea how that's going to go. But most of the dogs take it just fine. They aren't huge fans of it, but a few of them definitely, like I said, Spock. Actually, I don't think it's Riker. I think it's Crusher who absolutely loses it when he sees us coming. So we'll be doing that this week. What else? Oh, we did, I'm sure it was probably on camera, we did have a little bit of a fence fight this morning between Sandy and Jenny. Kind of just came out of nowhere. The two of them aren't, I should say, on the best terms, but Jenny seems to like to get into fence fights with Sandy on the odd occasion. She used to do it a lot more. She has improved quite a bit. She's not doing it nearly as much as she used to. But today, of course, it was a fairly... I shouldn't say bad, because, of course, no one got hurt. But she was very focused in on trying to antagonize Sandy staying at the kennel. And, of course, Sandy was getting riled up, and she was responding, so that didn't help. But, of course, thankfully no one got hurt, neither trainers nor dogs. And we were able to get Jenny back into her kennel. This was, I'm sure... I think the camera was on us during that point. It was during breakfast. I forget. I'm not sure who exactly started it, because I know Sandy had been barking a little, and I don't know if that maybe set Jenny off, or if Jenny just saw Sandy and decided to just go for it. But thankfully, like I said, no one got hurt. We were able to break it up after a little bit. Jenny went back in her kennel just fine after that. So of course that's something we're gonna have to work on with them. We are trying to work on it with them. As I said, Jenny is not doing it nearly as much as she used to. Neither is Sandy. Sandy, who used to, when she was younger, she used to fence fight all the time. Anytime a girl would pass her, she would try to fence fight with them, and she has come so far from that. She very rarely, with the odd occasion of like today, she very rarely fence fights anymore, so this was kind of an odd occurrence for her. She will bark a lot at the girls, but very rarely does she do fence fighting anymore. So Sandy's come a long way, and Jenny has also been making a lot of improvements on that front. So that way, I think that was kind of like the big, most dramatic kind of thing that happened today, was that little bit of a fence fight this morning. But of course, that resolved itself. Trying to think if we got any other things coming up. I don't think we have anything too crazy coming up. Yeah. I don't think we got any... What else we got today? I think I've mentioned this on Meet the Dog, but we are trying to test some of the. We're starting out with the girls. We're trying to test some girls together to see if they get along. We've tried. It's been a little bit since we put them together, but we tried Jenny and Sister together, two of the Christmas girls, and they did very well together. Though the last time I tried them, Jenny did snap at Sister a little, so I did have to take her away. I don't know if it was going to escalate to a full-on fight, because at that point Jenny was still on the leash, and I'm wondering if Sister Sister, who had come up to her all excited, maybe put her on guard a little bit. But so that's something we're slowly trying to do, just see who gets along with who, because of course we do want to work on them being able to get along with their same gender, because if they do go to someone who has, say if Sister went to someone who had another girl, we want to be able to make sure that we don't have to worry about that. So that is something we are trying to do here and there where we can. We're going to be after that little snap, we're going to be trying them again at some point. When we do it, we will be keeping them under observation. We'll have two people there in case they do get into a fight. The whole process is, what we do is we kind of get them into the area that we want them to play in. We have them on leash. We let them kind of sniff each other out first, just get a feel for each other. And then if we see that, like, oh, they're going to go for it, we break them up. If not, we'll try to let them off leash, watch them for a bit. And if we think that they're not getting too riled up, if we think that, like, oh, they're playing, but the way the playing is going, it could turn to fighting. As long as they're not doing that, we'll usually kind of step back, watch them for a little bit, and then just keep an ear out. I've done it several times for Emma. Emma can play with several girls here, including Sister, Deanna, Naomi. When Army was here, she used to play with Army. Same thing with Nessie. And that's how I've done it for all of them. So it does work, and it's usually a pretty safe way to figure out before the fight actually starts, like, okay, are these two going to work together? And sometimes we will get them where they're still on the leash, and immediately you can tell it's not going to work. Jenny and Sister did pass that point. I think where the issue was last time I put them together and Jenny snapped at her a little bit was that Sister was off leash, Jenny was still on. So so Jenny might have felt either more confident or just like they can act a bit differently on the leash when they do off leash. So that might have been part of it. But we will be trying them again at some point, because I don't think it's a lost cause. When they play together fantastically. They are so good together. So I don't think it was going to evolve to a full-scale fight. I think it was just more a disagreement between sisters. But of course, we will be exercising due caution. We don't want any of the dogs to get into fights. We don't want any of them to get hurt. So always exercising the due caution whenever we're trying dogs together that are the same gender, or potentially just we just don't think are going to get along. So that's kind of on the docket for things we're trying out around here, is trying to some of the girls together. I hope to try some of the Tribble girls together. We tried Naomi and Deanna together. They were all right. They started getting a little bit feisty. So we're probably going to try them again and keep them under observation a bit longer. But I think that's really it. That's all I got for Barn Talk today. I hope this kind of filled in for the lack of trainer talk today. I think we should be back next week with our regularly scheduled program, and I of course will be doing Meet the Dog on Wednesday, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, thank you all for tuning in, and I will see some of you on Wednesday for Meet the Dog.